Every year it's like clockwork. I'm driving around, the leaves are exploding in every shade of yellow and orange, and I completely blank on why it happens.
Happens to the best of us.
So this deep dive, it's as much for me as it is for you. But really, how much do we actually know about the science behind fall's big show? Beyond just, ooh, pretty.
Right.
It's not magic, right? It's pigments, those tiny compounds that give everything its color. And get this, they're already in the leaves all year.
Exactly. It's easy to forget that throughout spring and summer, chlorophyll is the main event. Photosynthesis powerhouse,
Right.
It's so busy capturing sunlight, making energy for the tree, that it masks all those other colors just waiting to, come out of hiding.
So as the days get shorter, temperatures drop.
Yeah.
What happens to superstar chlorophyll? Getting lazy.
Think of it like chlorophyll's long winter's nap. Days shorten, temperatures cool, and chlorophyll production just winds down.
Yeah.
Eventually, it stops altogether. And as chlorophyll breaks down, the green fades, and those other pigments that have been there all along, like carotenoids, they take center stage.
Okay, so the yellows and oranges we typically see first, those are from carotenoids. What's their deal? Why are they such patient waiters?
Carotenoids are pretty cool, actually. Unlike chlorophyll, they're much more stable. They don't break down as easily. So chlorophyll retreats. They're ready, giving us those classic golden yellows, vibrant oranges. They even have a job protecting the leaf from damage, kind of like a built-in sunscreen.
No kidding, that's awesome. But what about those fiery reds and deep purples? They steal the show later in the season. Those are anthocyanins, right? But that whole process seems way more mysterious.
It is. Chlorophyll and carotenoids, they're around all year. Anthocyanins, they're produced in the fall. The grand finale of the pigment world and the trigger, those crisp, cool autumn nights we all love.
Okay, you've got my attention. How do cool nights create such intense color?
So during the day, the leaves are doing their photosynthesis thing, creating sugars. Sunsets, temperatures plummet, those sugars can get trapped in the leaves. That buildup, plus the cold, triggers anthocyanin production.
So the more perfect fall days a region has sunshine and crisp air, the more vibrant the reds and purples.
Bingo! Think about the places known for stunning fall foliage. Those scarlet maples, deep purple sumacs, sunny days, chilly nights, it's the recipe.
So we've got these late-blooming anthocyanins putting on a show, but their role isn't as straightforward as chlorophyll or carotenoids being sunscreen. What's the thought on why trees even bother with the reds?
It's a real head-scratcher, and while we don't have a perfect answer yet, there's more and more evidence that anthocyanins are more than just a pretty face.
Okay.
One idea is that they're like a specialized sunscreen for the leaves, protecting them from too much sun as the tree gets ready for winter.
Walk me through that, because we usually think of sunscreen as, like, sunburn protection. What's the danger to a leaf?
Good point. Remember, those leaves are hard at work breaking down chlorophyll, taking back those valuable nutrients to store for the winter.
Right.
Too much sun during that could actually mess with that whole process. Anthocyanins, they're like those little umbrellas you get in fancy drinks.
Love those.
Shielding the good stuff, right, from getting diluted.
Fantastic analogy. So the tree is investing in these reds to protect its nutrient stash. Final act of self-preservation.
Exactly. And it all ties into the bigger picture of why trees go through this whole color change thing in the first place. It's not just for us to enjoy, it's crucial for survival.
Right, winter prep. So once the chlorophyll's gone, nutrients stored away, how does the tree say goodbye to its leaves? It seems brutal, almost like cutting them off.
Now that's where it gets really interesting. The tree doesn't just let the leaves die off, it's more deliberate. It's a process called abscission.
Abscission. Haven't heard that one in a while.
Not really a party word, but it's cool. Basically, the tree seals off the leaf, like closing a valve slowly. It makes this special layer of cells at the base of the stem, cutting off water and nutrients.
So the leaf supply line is cut, so it dries out, changes color, falls.
Exactly. And I know it seems harsh, but remember, this is life or death for the tree. Shedding the leaves means way less water loss in winter, which is key when it's freezing and dry. Conservation mode.
This is why I love these deep dives. Something we see every year but never really think about. Those fall colors, they're so much more than just pretty, aren't they? They tell a story.
They really do. Resourcefulness, adaptation, how trees have figured out to thrive even when things change. It's pretty remarkable.
I gotta say, I always took those reds and yellows for granted, like they just happen every year. But realizing how complex it is, the pigments, the environment, the tree's survival, It changes how you see it, doesn't it?
Totally. And the coolest part, we're still figuring it all out, like those anthocyanins and the red hues. There's a whole connection to soil that's got researchers busy.
Okay, so we're talking soil pH now. Acidic like, say, a coniferous forest versus more alkaline. What's the link to those vibrant reds?
Well, get this. Trees famous for going red, like those red maples everyone loves, they often prefer more acidic soil. Now, the why is still kind of a puzzle, but there are some theories.
Let me guess, involving anthocyanin again. Our star pigment.
You got it. One thought is, those reds might actually help the tree get nutrients from acidic soil, like a little boost in a tough environment.
Clever.
Another idea is the reds could be a warning to animals. Anthocyanins can be bitter, so it's like the tree saying, not tasty, find your snack somewhere else.
So not just sun protection, but maybe nutrient grabbing and pest control. These pigments are busy, but we've been all about deciduous trees. What about evergreens? They just laugh at winter, don't they? Everyone else is putting on a farewell show, and they're like, whoa, winter.
Evergreens are a whole other story. They've got their own amazing tricks for keeping their needles year-round. Different strategy, but it works for them.
Right. I mean, those needles are tough.
Exactly. Way lower water content than big leaves, so they don't freeze as easily. Plus, they've got that waxy coating, seals them up, no drying out even in the wind. Built-in winter gear.
Makes sense. But science aside for a sec, I think it's cool how much fall foliage is tied to us humans,
Yeah.
We're obsessed with this stuff.
Oh, totally. Artists, poets, musicians, they've been inspired by fall colors forever. And so many cultures have traditions, celebrations, all about this one time of year. You mentioned Momishigari earlier?
Right. Maple leaf hunting. So charming.
People travel all over just to see those incredible reds and yellows, especially those temple gardens, like a pilgrimage to say goodbye to nature before winter.
Yeah, and here we've got our leaf peepers, right? Every fall, it's like a pilgrimage for those amazing views. Drives, cabins, pumpkin spice lattes. It's a whole thing.
It really is. I think it just shows how connected we still are to nature, even with how much our lives have changed.
Agreed. And this deep dive, it's been awesome for, scratching that curiosity itch I had about the leaves, but it also makes you think bigger. We talked about climate change messing with these delicate systems, right? Like, this beauty might not be a guarantee.
Yeah.
Makes you appreciate it even more, I think.
Absolutely. So, as you're out there this fall, enjoying those colors, take a second to think about what's actually going on. It's amazing. And hey, maybe it'll inspire you to, do something, even in a small way, to help keep this whole incredible show going for years to come.
Couldn't have said it better myself. That's it for this deep dive, folks. Thanks for joining us.